Hey guys, what's up and welcome to the Sagittarius reading. So let's get started. I'm just going to start with tarot and we'll see where it goes from there. Sagittarius, you guys got the devil coming out first. That's Capricorn energy. You got the Three of Cups. Okay. So maybe there's kind of some inner turmoil when you're dealing with someone in particular in a romantic sense. It doesn't have to be a romantic sense. This could also just be somebody in your community. So it looks like there is something that is warranting a change. And I wonder if someone thinks that you're being sneaky, or if you think that someone else is like, I don't know, somehow almost like talking behind your back, some sense of betrayal maybe even. Let me clarify this real quick because I want to see what's going on. For some of you guys, if this is I almost want to pull separately, but maybe I don't need to. Well, let's see if the cards are similar enough. Okay, Four of Pentacles, Power, and Emperor. That's similar to me. So I'm going to say that this is whether or not you're dealing with a romantic interest or just this is between you and an individual right now. Whatever's going on, it looks like there's some kind of question of betrayal. And it's leading to looking at what's going on that's warranting this change. And maybe you're looking at them for that, or maybe you're looking within. Maybe both. I'm not quite sure yet. Whatever this betrayal is, it looks like somebody who's in power is misusing their power, or they're acting like they have stability and they don't, and they need to, like, I think if that's how someone's perceiving you, they're wanting you to listen. But I think if that's how you're perceiving someone else, you're wanting them to listen. I think this could go either way. Let me see. Got the Sun on the bottom too. Let me see what's going on. Okay, and the Devil again. Give me one to tell me who Sag is in this situation. Okay, Ten of Cups here. So, Sag, I'm going to call it, and it looks like whatever's happening here is that you're in a position where you're questioning someone else's loyalty. You're questioning why they're maybe betraying you or betraying your trust in some way. You're looking at them as if they're in a position of power. They should know better. They should do better. They should have some more compassion, respect, kind of discipline with how to move through the situation a little better. And I think what you're noticing is that it's making you reflect in on what your role in a community or something is, and maybe that's changing. I wonder if that's a good thing, or if that has the same feel to it. Strength. Okay, so this reading's very confusing, and then there's clarity, and then it's confusing again, and then there's clarity. So Sag, it just looks like this is a situation where you're learning to clarify your own situation and continue to work through it and move through it in a way where you can be successful and victorious through that. I think that something's getting you to look at it, to look at your own role in this and question it. And I think that you're doubling down on it and being like, I know exactly why I'm saying this. I know what's going on. And I'm going to keep fighting for justice, or for this person to own up, or to act right, or whatever it is. I think in the meantime, you're just focusing on your happiness. You're kind of like, if they're not going to do that, I'm just going to kind of revert back into my own world that didn't have them. I'm going to keep feeding the good things in there. I really like that this 10 of Cups is here with the Devil, because it means that you're giving yourself enough self-care to accurately identify when it's someone else that's perturbing you. Sometimes if we don't follow up on our self-care, it can be ourselves that really disturbs us. But I think that because you're implementing self-care here, it almost looks like you're doing it in order to recover from this person. So how I'm translating that from tarot into a real world situation is that basically what that's doing is like you're essentially it's a process where you're going to just feel kind of like a tumbled rock until you're polished, you know? And you're going to think that the process of tumbling is a punishment. It's going to feel self-critical. It's going to feel like it's pointing your flaws out in some way. But I think what it's really doing is it's pointing out the flaws in the situation, and it's getting you to look at what you will or will not continue with, and to set your boundaries and to set them firm. To make your decisions and then just continue to follow through on those. Because what's happening over here is that it's changing how you show up in your community. It's making you want to do more for your community, or it's making you want to see real change happen. And even if it takes a long time, even if it's a difficult process. And I think that that's kind of like your heart showing up here saying, no, I won't be trampled over, and I won't be treated disrespectfully. And also, because I feel that strongly, I know others are going to feel that strongly too. Like, I know others deserve that, to protect that part of themselves. I wonder what you're doing. What's the change? 5 of Swords, another one of like betrayal and defeat. You have 2 cards here. I think that, ooh, and look how she's kind of slaying this. She's almost put this person to rest a little bit. And the way I'm interpreting that is more so that like, you're kind of, I think that you're coming out victorious over people who are deceitful, or over people who are just trying to lie to your face. I think that this is you putting an end to that and calling out that there needs to be a change on that. And kind of being like, not only will I not tolerate, but I'm going to say something when I see something. So I think that I'm done with this deck, because I think that's all I wanted to clarify. And then 3 of Cups, which we have the 3 of Cups here. You have a lot of like synchronicity in your reading. So I wonder if you're also running into that. Just in your day-to-day. Maybe 3s are significant for you. Maybe like 10 or 10-10 is significant for whatever reason. And then, I don't know, I almost feel like 3, 4, 5 or like a succession is important, but let's see. What's this feeling about? Okay, 4 of Swords. Four of Swords. And the 8 of Wands. And then what's happening here? So Sag, it looks like you're actually waiting for signs from the universe to line up, to like let you know. You're looking for confirmation that what it is that you're clarifying for yourself, the decisions that you're coming to, the way that you will or will not be treated, and standing firm in that. You're waiting for clarification on that. Like almost from the universe or from another source, like from maybe someone who's helping you through something or something like that. And what's interesting about this is that it's like it's you're waiting for that to move forward with what you truly believe deep down in your soul is the right thing to do for yourself and for the people around you. And I would say that one of the internal battles that you're overcoming here is being your own devil's advocate when you know that you feel a certain way and that that feeling's not going away. Because what I see here is you running into victory, running towards this success, running towards being able to get your needs met. Once you simply decide that it is appropriate for you to pursue those things in your own life. You don't have to wait for a green light for someone to tell you that your emotions are valid. And I think that the thing that you're running into here is that maybe there's something that you battle frequently that kind of invalidates your own emotions. And this is something that you're working through in this process of just like, you're almost, I don't want to tell you that this is happening. So my interpretation of what's happening is that I think that you could be waiting for the universe to tell you, or waiting for a trusted resource to tell you that you're right, or that you are moral, or that you are justified or valid, or whatever it is. And I think this is kind of the time in your life where you stand up, shed that old skin, and you say, I know what I believe, and I'm allowed to believe that. And I'm allowed to move forward with that understanding. My backbone is strengthened. I walk tall. I walk with confidence. I know exactly how I'm feeling. Almost like it's not going to be me that gets in the way of me finding success right now, at least through whatever this difficult path is, or this difficult path with another. And I think that's really beautiful for you. So let's see what we've got for your oracle. Change direction with ease. This is a time for change, shape-shifting, or your soul's evolution. It is a time to reconsider what you are wanting. You may be in for a surprise. Breakthrough to new dimensions. A new endeavor is on the horizon. Innovative energy wants to bust forth into your consciousness. Okay, let me see if I can grab one from here, and then I'll read from, I think I'm going to read from this book. I think I'm going to read that number 5. Okay, I'm gonna read this one, and we'll see if we need another one. If we need to read this one. Okay, and you've got some Gemini energy on the bottom here. So number 54. Whoa. And we've got these two birds kind of like locking claws and, or feet, talons, whatever you want to call them. There's a lot of like kind of explosive energy here between, I think, just you and someone else. And maybe it's not so much explosive. I think it feels that way internally, but it might not appear that way on the outside. It might actually appear really calm, but it's causing a lot of tension. So this says these 3 aspects, square, semi-square, and quincunx. These 3 aspects are awkward, potentially confrontational, and urge us to grow as we reconcile disparate points of view. Square aspects act as if 2 horses are pulling at right angles, or 2 cars are colliding at a crossroads. Needs collide, and tension pulls between different priorities within or without. A square is formed by 2 planets that are 90 degrees apart and in the same modality, cardinal, fixed, or mutable, while a semi-square is formed by 2 planets 45 degrees apart. A quincunx is formed by 2 planets 150 degrees apart, from 2 signs that have neither polarity, modality, nor element in common. Life is a workout. This phase needs juggling, muscle building, and the careful coordination of competing needs. You may feel pulled between one path or another and pushed to make a decision, but with some fancy timing and rhythm, you may be able to do it all. Working with people who have diverse mindsets, skills, and backgrounds can be challenging, but in the long run, these collaborations prove most productive and enriching. Find points of ease, the few things everybody agrees on already, and build out from there. Honor difference and expand. Let this situation become a mandala created by the interlacing elements that at first glance may not look like they go together. These apparently clashing pieces can round each other out and create a beautiful symbol of wholeness. Take this image into your psyche and use it as a pattern for interaction. These tense aspects take work, but don't avoid it. If you take a hatching baby bird out of its egg so it doesn't have to struggle, it won't build the strength needed to survive. A butterfly needs to struggle coming out of the cocoon in order to have circulation in its wings to fly. This situation builds your strength. Get ready to fly. This is a workout of body, mind, or spirit, and workouts can be tiring. Take this opportunity to build strength and learn to reconcile the conflicts within. When you can resolve internal conflicts, it is easier to resolve external ones. So, Sagittarius, sorry, checking the time. Sagittarius, what it looks like to me is that you might have a previous pattern of trying to make everything so smooth for everyone else that you get left out of your own bubble of peace and protection. And I think what's difficult is you might have experienced an issue in your childhood or in your family dynamics where you haven't seen people meet you halfway. You haven't seen them, or maybe spouses or relationships, you haven't seen them collaborate with you all that well. Or maybe you've just run into a lot of difficult situations like that. I think something that is really changing here is instead of making sure everyone else feels good enough to continue, what you're being asked is to recognize where they need to do their own work so that you can do yours, because it clarifies what the issue is when you can do yours. And if you don't have them do their work and you have to watch them struggle through it and you have to just focus on yourself and trust that they're working through it, I think that freaks you out. Like it triggers something, I believe, but that doesn't have to be true. It's just that's how I'm reading this. So if you grew up in like a happy, healthy home and people listen to everybody and you've had great relationships and you haven't had problems with coworkers and all that stuff, like, then maybe that's not a threat. This isn't a threat of your reading, but I do think there are people here who have experienced that. And so it's difficult to just straight up tell someone, I don't tolerate that. This is my boundary. I don't want to continue to engage with you if that's how you're going to do it, given our history. Like, I've spoken my piece and it wasn't respected. And so I'm going to continue to only speak my piece to people who are going to honor that and not turn every interaction into like a fight, And I think in some way it's almost challenging for you to make them do that work because it triggers some kind of like they're on their own with it. And I think you like to help. But I think that this is a time where you do better getting your needs met if you help yourself. And sometimes that can appear to the other person as if you're not taking their side or you're taking an oppositional side, but it's never oppositional to help yourself. Like, to get your own needs met. That's not, someone can feel like that's in opposition to them, but that's exactly what you're supposed to do, just as an individual. so that you can function, so that you can operate with other people in a clear sense, you know, and kind of just live your life. And I do think that that's something that could be happening, is where you are learning that you're learning like how valuable it really is to set that boundary and to not walk away from that line in the sand and like forget about it or wash it off yourself when it's difficult for the other person to meet you there, or to not cross that line, or however you want to put that. I'm also going to pull an Angels of Abundance card. Sorry if I'm like, I felt like I was talking a lot there. I didn't really know how to explain it. Maybe that's something that you're going to find in this, is that it's just going to take some time to really articulate your thoughts. So maybe just be patient with yourself. You know how you feel, but it's difficult to just say it in a way where that person can understand. If you already feel like they don't understand you, like they're not already validating, they're already seeing it as opposition. I think this is where it's like just a difficult situation, because you can't ask them to catch up and get it so that they can hear what you're going to say next. You can only continue to be sure of what it is that you're feeling and thinking and believing, and to keep finding clarity on that. And I do believe that the way to find clarity on that is to just continue like hardcore diving into self-care, making sure your own needs are getting met. And I think in the background of that is it looked like so in this card it mentioned that things might kind of you know, look like they're going south, but they're really gonna be enriching in the long run. I think that you could be running into situations where there's delays or there's issues in other areas of your life that don't mean as much to you, but they're frustrating or they're inconvenient, you know? And I think that this is an opportunity to see those things that don't pull as much as this thing, this like sense of betrayal, or this sense of like maybe you're battling an institution or your work or your partner or a person like that you've been friends with for a long time. Whatever it is, it's like there's something that has your front burner right now occupied. And I think there's a lot of other things in the background that you really are able to like let roll off your shoulder. And some of them might be irritating, but I do think some of those delays and whatever's happening in the background, I think is actually helping this by giving you more time, or by setting things up in the background to like help you align with your own beliefs and convictions, you know? And so I wonder if this is also a time where you're like being asked to clarify and double down on what is going on in this particular situation, but then try to like go with the flow in the rest of life, you know? I mean, given there's not multiple situations going on like this at the same time, you know? If there is, then I think whatever the thing is that's like, you're like, I'm not going to change my mind on this. And I've tried to let it go and it keeps coming back. And now I just need to deal with it. I think whatever those situations are, maybe it's one, maybe it's many, that's where you are looking for this clarity. So I just want to clarify myself, is that I don't think you're just supposed to let things go that you can't let go, you know? I think that if you can let it go, that's going to be helpful. But double down on the things that aren't going away, because you're meant to deal with them, you know? And you're meant to show up and show up strong. It's that that song by Brett Dennen, Ain't No Reason, is kind of coming to mind, where he's like, you don't need a reason or a three-piece suit to argue the truth. I wonder if whoever you're going up against kind of is polished or is a public figure or seems like they have more power in that way. And I think that the truth doesn't ask you to be polished or primed or anything. It asks you to know exactly what the truth is. It just asks you to be clear on that. It doesn't need a show. Like, it's loud enough when spoken out loud. And if it's not, if it doesn't feel loud enough when it's spoken out loud to a certain individual, I think that's when you would know it's just time to walk away from that situation, if that's at all possible. Situations that get better, you see at least a little progress whenever you go and try to collaborate with them. Situations that keep staving that off, they often, or invalidating you, often don't improve. Like, time isn't the thing that's going to solve that. It's going to be that you put yourself in environments where you can thrive and be successful. Block out distractions. Your life purpose and other priorities need your undivided attention, so it's time for you to take charge of your schedule and working environment by turning off electronics and avoiding anyone or anything that distracts you from what's important. You already know what these distractions are, and you have the power to responsibly block them out. So I do think that there's a way where whatever this situation is might be like interfering with how you're feeding yourself, with what you're eating, how you're spending your time, whether you feel uplifted or depressed. It might be affecting a lot of areas of your life right now. And so I think it's kind of like, if you can, because when we're dealing with things, it's going to feel like torture when they're unresolved. Just making sure that you're putting in the good that you deserve in your life while you fight this good fight. Maybe by limiting the amount of time you spend dwelling in it when it's not right in front of you. Maybe by adding in a practice that helps alleviate that stress. Maybe by scheduling in your self-care, or like making sure that you're eating, exercising, whatever it is that helps you, as a way to kind of like keep your mind scheduled almost. Because the goal here is that you end up with a strong mind so that you can fight your fights. It's not that you end up shying away from these things. And what gives us that is things that make us feel good in the background of the issues that are happening. So you've got dreams of abundance. As you sleep, God, your angels, and your higher self are giving you divinely guided ideas, answers, and solutions. Be sure to record your dreams in a journal because they contain valuable insights that will help you manifest your desires into reality. And then attracting, not chasing. Anything or anyone you chase after will run the other way because of the fear's underlying chasing energy. Instead, attract what you need by sending out love, gratitude, and welcoming energy. Saggy, really good things are coming your way. And I do think that, you're about to see a lot of victory and success, but you'll feel it first by the decisions that you're able to make when other things are bothering you. You're going to keep in alignment with what it is that works for you. And I think that's just like the first pillar that you're solidifying. You're building a strong foundation right now. Some of you guys might be taking a trip or just spending a lot of time outside in nature right now. I do feel like that's really calming or grounding or something, is either travel or the outdoors. So maybe those are things that you like. If you haven't been doing them, maybe that's something you can add in. And if you have been doing them, it's probably alleviating a lot of stress for you. So that's what I see for you guys, Sag. Kind of an interesting reading because I'm not quite sure what's happening. Oh, look, and then we got Justice and the King of Swords. You have so much clarity that's coming to you, and I'm excited to see where this goes for you, because it feels probably highly upsetting right now, but if you stay on track with planting your feet in the ground right where you are and sticking to your guns, I think that's getting you to a better place in your community, with your interpersonal relationships, and with the things that you have chosen to put in your life or to keep in your life. Okay, guys, I'll see you in another video. Bye.